Here we are. Who's out of Puerto Rico? It's warm here. Out of Puerto Rico, we're a nonprofit organization. We are about collecting data. And so who cares? Data, there's all sorts of data. As Dana mentioned, we're in the business of collecting government data. And we try to collect it because we want to visualize it. We want to make it into nice pictures. And we try to make those nice pictures so that we can share it with people. And we share it with people, we want to help them. And so why do we do that? Why do we need it? Because we need it in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, we see in the news constantly, especially in the last few months, how the government decides what it can and cannot be transparent. And the newspapers have, had to sue even to get some information, and yet we still don't have a transparent government. And so we have to have a citizen movement that insists that we have transparency. How do we collect the data? Government agencies are a labyrinth, and navigating that labyrinth and all those corridors can be really challenging. And what we do in AVE is we cut through the walls and we get directly to the agencies, get the information, because we know how. We know where the agencies are, we have the ways of soliciting that information. But we also collect frustrations, and we're collecting our frustrations, trying to navigate those challenges, but also the citizens' frustrations. And to kind of channel those frustrations, recently we started developing an application which went live tonight actually, the beta did at least. And that application is about helping citizens channel and request government data. And so it's a place where they can come, submit the request, we submit the letter in AVE Puerto Rico's name to the agency, and then we track it. And here's some ideas of things you could go on, and after the end of tonight, we hope you go there. And we track and we report on how well the agencies are responding, how long they take to respond. And why do we do that? Because you can't manage what you don't measure. So we're managing and we're trying to measure how well the agencies are responding to the citizen, but we're also trying to measure and manage what's happening in Puerto Rico. So we're trying to collect that information that's relevant to people and help them measure and manage their lives and where we want Puerto Rico to develop and become. Some of the things we've done in terms of visualizing, we sent our staff into libraries and different places to write down all the information about the budgets from 1970 through, and then got the Excels after that, entered into spreadsheets, and created this way of seeing how has the budget evolved over the last 45 years. Another thing we've done is, this was after before Instituto Estadísticas did their cost of living adjustment. We did something similar, simple, much simpler, kind of comparing, and what we're trying to do is provoke people to ask, why is Puerto Rico cost of food in Puerto Rico so high, right? And what's going on? What are the challenges that we see here? And another one we've done, this one's much older, we did this a year ago, but it's around crime. And what we're trying to do is, we see in the media a lot of stories about what crime is like in Puerto Rico, and we thought, let's look at the data, what's really going on? And we see that, much like the rest of the world, crime has gone down over the last 30 years, but we still have certain issues and certain areas that have higher crime incidents. So what's going on there? And at the end of the day, all of that is about a picture's worth 1,000 words. Having visualizations, having images, gives us the context, gives us a way of interpreting, because I studied politics and I studied economics in college and in grad school. And it's still hard for me to read those tables. So pictures help us understand what those tables are really trying to say. Then we share it. And so we have avepr.org. I invite you all to go there if you don't go there. Right now we have a very limited data set, so over for this year. We started in March of 2013. This year we hope to become much more aggressive in terms of, and we have some special jewels coming out over the next couple of months actually. So hopefully you guys will find that interesting. We also share these kinds of things that we want to take out to the communities. And so for every municipality in Puerto Rico, we have a breakdown of how's education there, what's incomes, how is the debt per person. And want to share that with citizens so that way they can go and next time the alcalde shows up to their door and says, vote for me, it's like, wait a second, why should I vote for you? Here's what's going on, answer me a question. Because we want civic participation. We are the people, we live in a democracy. And we need to shift from being involved in politics of parties to shifting to a politics of policy. How are we doing in education? How are we doing in health? And get away from where we currently are in the dynamic of this kind of bi-party system. And at the end of the day, we want it to be actionable. And so we're talking about creating this hashtag called Verificable, and over the next year, we'll do more and more, trying to hold our politicians and government officials to account. And we want them to, we're going to be launching a fact-checking service and a public polling service. So we're going to send, it'll be a web app where people can actually respond to questions about how do you feel your community is doing, take that data and make it actionable. Because we want to be intermediaries between the citizens and the government authorities, helping them inspire participation, helping inspire transparency, and providing that monitoring to make sure that our government officials are being held. and responding to what citizens need. And so that way then they can feel more participative. Over the next year, we also want to work in terms of making actionable for communities. So how do we go into a community, help them design a plan so they can do social accountability initiatives? Social accountability initiatives are those initiatives where people look at their community and say, how is government doing for me? And so we want to help them design that. How would you measure it? What data do you need? What tools do you need to get that information and then make the government more effective for you? Because that's what it's all about, making government more effective for the people, empowering them, helping them build a democratic space. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is make our democracy much more robust and much more successful, improve budget utilization, service delivery, and strengthen that interaction between government and its citizens. Who do we work with? We've been fortunate to have the support of Mario Marati, thank you so much. My Contralora, she's been great as well. So we do have allies in the government, not everybody's out there to hide things. And so we also received a grant from Sunlight Foundation, that's how we built the website, so we're very fortunate for that. And just like Dana, we work Foundation. We've been working with the press. We have a great relationship with Luisa Garcia Pelabi. She publishes our articles, and last year we did a series around the budget within Melodia, and hopefully this year we'll be doing more because we collect a certain particular data sets that we hope we can do more and educate people through the press itself. And 20 seconds is long. So what do we need? We need you. We need code. We need people to help us code. We need people to help us write. We want people who can look at the data and write articles and write things that will educate people. We want people to help us gather and analyze data. And finally, we want people to participate. And you can go to solicitud.apr.org and you can go there and submit your request for data. Or you can just participate by encouraging people to look beyond what we currently see in terms of politics of partisanship and towards the politics of policy. So I'm getting that out here. Okay, and that's Mr. T, so you got to follow what he says. Yeah. Thank you.
I already know some people in the room who are excited about what you're doing. So, actually, one of our very first Pechacuchas, almost 3 years ago, was about the politics of Puerto Rico, that politicians are all about ribbon cutting and make big promises and no one remembers what they promised, and there was no way to really benchmark them or hold them accountable, and without having some kind of real scorecard, any old politician is going to tell you they're going to build you a dolphin park.